Hi everybody, today we're going to do an unboxing of this Icon Professional Torque Wrench, 3/4 inch drive, 100 to 600 foot-pounds of torque wrench it says. This is a pretty big box here. It's like a 4 foot. So it could be a little smaller, but that's how much big it is. Lifetime warranty guaranteed with TW34-600, the model number. It includes with a certificate of calibration. It's a 48 tooth ratcheting mechanism. It looks like here in the ratchet says Icon here. We'll see here, we'll look at it, and then it has here all the information, all the how many foot-pounds and stuff. So give me a minute and I'll flip this box over, since when you're doing with torque wrenches, you gotta treat them like a third baby. Don't let them get a hit, you need to take care of these. If not, they could probably get miscalibrated and you'll get in trouble. So yeah, give me a minute and let me flip this box over. So here we are on the other side. We got, all the same stuff. It's a lifetime warranty guaranteed. And in case you do break it, which if you break it, that's kind of be a bit weird, but you break it or something, you can get it in, swap it out for a new one. They'll ask if you purchase it and stuff, and they'll swap it out. So it's a heavy duty low profile teardrop head for increased accessibility, 48 tooth ratcheting mechanism, complies with standards, audio click and or impulse when torque setting is reached. Sorry, I didn't put that. And then professional standard accuracy to clockwise. Chrome plated. It says chrome plated, hardened steel body. Roll mark scaled for better visibility. Smooth intent locking collar prevents accidental change in torque settings. In my opinion, that is, if it's true, which I would like to have that, because if I'll know, I have some Pittsburgh Pros, and when I was torquing something down, it would move a little bit over what I set it as. And if it can lock that from when you're using it from moving, that'd be kind of cool. That is a problem with the Pittsburgh Pro torque wrenches. If you're just gonna use it for one project, but if you're gonna use it for a lot more, this guy, if it does that, that'd be pretty cool. They should do that on the Pittsburgh Pro, at least have it where it locks in. I tighten it up and everything, but still loosen up every once in a while. So yeah, that's one thing I don't like about that. Also, you got a roll mark scaled for better visibility and no skipped. Handle for optimal control. It also comes with a protected case, storage case included, which is pretty good. So we're gonna start unboxing this little guy and let's look. Okay, so here we are. It's a big box, which I am looking on the sides. Before we look at the top, it just say on its latches Icon, which is pretty cool. We got 4 latches. Here, right here in the front of it, it says 3/4 inch, 100 to 600 foot-pounds, with the Icon right here on top. It looks like a pretty good case to me. It's a big case. We'll start opening since I haven't seen it. But, look, the latches are pretty good. And by the way, inside the box is really well protected. They have some cardboard in there, so this guy ain't hitting anything. So that is a good thing. Which I kind of like when they do that. Stuff like this is really delicate. So here we are. We're gonna open it up, and there we are. And this guy's a big boy. He's really big. Look at that. Holy smokes. Look at that. That is a big boy. Look at that head. Man, that's big. Alright. And we got the angle repair calibration for torque wrench service contact. Holy smokes. They give you this to make phone calls in case you need to calibrate it. So it's pretty nice. I think they gave me 2. Oh no, they gave me a magnet too. That is actually nice of them to do that. But you can have that in the shop in case you lose that card. Or there's another option. Call me crazy or whatever, but if you want, grab some tape, put it right here and put some tape on it, on top of it. And so you'll have it right here at all times, so you won't lose that. And here's the certificate, which tells you set torque, max, clockwise and all that. So yeah, but this is a big boy. So it does have the on and off. So right now it's off. Which camera will concentrate. So I'll switch it over to on, and then you can switch it back to off. Here we got icon. And it doesn't look kind of, since now it's gonna be finger, you know, it's gonna grab a lot of fingerprints. Also, we got the torque specs, which, you know, people never, I've seen videos of them unboxing it, but they never, you know, do anything. This one doesn't go by, it kind of stinks. It goes only by tens, fives and tens. It doesn't go near, okay. So we got, looks like we got foot-pounds here. And we got, right here, we got 550, 450, 350, 250, 150. Over here, we got by the hundreds, which, you know how to use torque wrench. So we're gonna try this. I'm gonna try 100 foot-pounds on a bolt, and we'll see. You know, it tells you. And they have it calibrated every 6 months. Which I usually hear, if you use it a lot, you do, but if you don't, you don't have to. So I'm gonna bring out a measuring tape. We're gonna measure this torque wrench, see how big it is. We'll measure the box as well if you want to know that. But give me a couple seconds and we'll look at that. Okay, so from down here to all the way to the head, you get a little over 44. So you get 44 and 1/4, let's say. So that is a big torque wrench right there. Which is a pretty big one. And the box, give me a sec and I'll measure that. So the box is right here. Let's start from here. Here we are. It's almost close to 4 feet. So yeah. So you could say almost, if you want it, we'll go with 47 and a half. You know, if you want to know the specific specs. But that is a pretty big torque wrench in my opinion. That is a big torque wrench, I will admit. So we take it out of its box here in a minute and we'll see. Okay, so here we got the torque wrench. And man, look at that, it's really greased up. I didn't notice that, but it's really greased up. Alright, so let's hear how it sounds. And this guy's a really big guy. Look at it. I'm really surprised it's a big torque wrench. So it does not go by ones, which I am noticing. You also got Newton meters in case you need that. This is right here. Newton meters. And so I'm guessing you have to press this down in order to change, you know, your specs. So give me a minute, let me get that going. Okay, so now I got the torque wrench right here, and I am noticing it does have a little rubber right here. I did not notice that, but so like we need to calibrate it to, or put it for 100 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna have to twist this. Since right now they're left at 20, so that's what we're gonna do. And right now I did not notice this, but they have Newton meters in the back. I did not notice that. They have Newton meters right here, which I don't know if y'all can see, but Newton meters on the back. Which I was wondering if they had it just inches about. They do have the Newton meters, so we're gonna switch over to foot-pounds. So right now it's at 45 foot-pounds. That's how we're gonna leave it when we're done using it. And let's get to, so we're at 100 right now. That is 100 foot-pounds right there. So, you know, we're gonna keep scrolling. It's like we need to make it, because I need to torque something down to 295, which, you know, right now I think we're at 200. Yes, we're at 200. We made it to 250 right there. We need to keep going. Keep going. And we made it at 300. So since I need to go right here. So I am torquing something down, and it does not move. That is clicked in, which is pretty good. Before you use this, I do recommend using it on a bowl. Just make yourself a little station. Grab a bowl and a socket and count. Get it. How do you say? Get it broken in, basically. So later, when you use it, it's ready to be torqued down and everything to the spec you want. Which I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do that with a bolt, which we're gonna do 200. But yeah, we're gonna do 200. 250. And the thing I like about it won't wiggle. As you can see, when you click on this, it will wiggle. But once it's clicked in, it won't move anywhere until you get it to do that. And I will bring another torque wrench if you want to know what I mean, because these other ones, they have something where you have to tighten it back here. But I do like that mechanism, which is pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna go torque something down. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so we're gonna get these lug nuts off and then we can torque them down to see if, how the torque wrench does. But here it says, it tells us repeat and tie the nuts, the nuts to 363 foot-pounds of torque. So 363 to 401 foot-pounds. Okay, so if we could get around that range, that's what we want to be. So I'm gonna aim for maybe 370, somewhere around there, so we won't be too much, right in the middle. All right, so we're gonna torque them down. So give me a couple minutes. I'll get the torque wrench. We're gonna use, I know people are gonna get mad for this, but I'm gonna use an impact rated one. I also brought in this one, which looking at it, it probably won't make it to the limit. First, I'm gonna torque it down with 100 foot-pounds, then we'll get this one to 100 foot-pounds. We'll jump over to 150 for this one, and then we'll do 250 the max, and then over here we'll do 250 the max, and then that's it. We'll do the proper torque spec, but we're gonna do that. We're gonna torque it down, see how it functions and everything. So give me a couple minutes and we'll be back. Okay, so we're gonna use this one right here, torquing down. I got them all loosened up. We're gonna do this one hand tying, and we're gonna start torquing this one to 100 foot-pounds. We'll go over here and do 250, so I'll get that like hand tightened. This one as well. We'll do 100, 250, and then we'll do these by regular spec, and I'll come back and torque these down. And you're supposed to go at a square pattern, so you go from here, here, the basics, here, make a square or star, whatever. But yeah, we're gonna get that started, so I'm not gonna use this guy yet until maybe the last couple. That one's just gonna sit here. But there we are. Which, it's gonna take a while. So I will be here in a couple seconds. I'll have everything ready. Okay, so we're gonna torque this one to 100 foot-pounds first. So here we go. So we're gonna tighten it up. All right, that has been torqued to 100 foot-pounds. All right, so we're gonna get the next one. We're gonna torque it down to 100 foot-pounds with the 3/4, and from there we'll see. All right, so give me a couple seconds. Okay, so we're gonna torque this guy to 100 foot-pounds at that same bolt and see if it does the same thing. So here we are. I'm gonna do it from the other side. I do apologize, since it kind of is a bit more headed than, so yeah. It's like a 48 tooth, so look at that. There we are. It does click, and it is at that point, so that's good. So we're gonna torque the next one right here, 250 foot-pounds. So give me a couple seconds, we'll get that started. Okay, so we're gonna torque the next bolt to 200 foot-pounds, which, let me get this guy started. All right, 250. And it'll be this guy next. So yeah, it is tough. There we go. 100 or 250 foot-pounds. There we are. That's a lot of foot-pounds for a little torque wrench. So we're gonna get the next one going. So give me a couple seconds. All right, so we're gonna torque the next one, the 250, as I mentioned, and we'll see. There we go. Yep, there we are. 250 foot-pounds. One more time just to make sure. But yep, that's 250 foot-pounds. They're both accurate. Okay, so we're gonna torque all these lug nuts to 370 foot-pounds, each one of them. So I'm gonna torque at least 2 of them, and then I'll torque the ones off camera. So, and I might have to buy some more bigger sockets, and I will admit you're not supposed to use impact rated ones, but right now these are the only ones I have. I am buying a chrome set as well with the ratchets. There we are. So they will be, you know, for these special occasions, which I don't use it a lot. It's every once in a while, but you know, it's good to have. But I am planning on to get one. All right, so I'll be torquing the next one, and then one more, and then I'll just torque these off camera, which if the guy wants to let go, these sockets have been kind of fishy. And as always, where the handle is at on the torque wrench, always hold it from there, nowhere else. You know, because people always hold it somewhere in the chrome area. Don't do that. That won't give you an accurate torque. So hold it from the handle, have it holding real well on the sprocket, you know, on the nut or bolt, whatever you're torquing down, which it sounds like it's about to pop, like click. There we go. There we are. And so we're gonna do it on the next one, on this one, then I'll torque the rest off camera, which I should be kind of going on a cross pattern, not on a, you know, one by one, but we'll get these going, which I might have to get that one going. There we go, we're started. There we go, it's about to work it. There we go. Torque to spec. Alright, so I'm going to torque the rest of the lug nuts, and I'll catch you here in a couple seconds. Okay, so the torque wrench is pretty good for what it's meant for. You know, if you got a skid steer, or you got a semi truck, you want to torque down your lug nuts or any bolt or anything, this is perfect if you want to do something like that. It's a good thing. It does have a good case, as I mentioned, and it does, you know, say like 3/4 inch, you know, whatever foot-pounds it is. I would highly recommend. This is an option if you want to grab something red and write over the letter, or gray or something, and write over so you can easily spot it. So I would recommend doing, you know. I don't know if they do, which I never. Every torque wrench that I have bought, you know, it usually does say, so this one says 3/4 by 100 to 600 foot-pounds, which this side does have it. If you're looking from this, it'll be on the left side, so I don't know if the right has it. And the right hand side, it does as well. That's a good thing. I like when they do things like that, where they do add like, hey, yeah, there's so many foot-pounds, you know, in case you have it on the shelf or something, you know, you're looking for it real quick, you can easily find it. But yeah, it's pretty good. There's only one little downside, and I mean, it doesn't bother me. Um, they should have added at least a handle here in the middle or something, or over here, you know, something so you could carry it, since, you know, it is a big guy. I thought it said something back here, but it's nothing. You know, but over time, this here, the teeth will start, kind of start scraping on the plastic, and it could leave some scrapes. You know, it could, you know, start eating that up. So I am giving a heads up. But yeah, so far so good. It's pretty good to me. I mean, it ain't nothing, you know. If you could use this like almost every day, you work on a diesel shop or something, you know, you're a diesel mechanic, this would be a good one to get. You know, it doesn't break the bank that much, which I'm pretty sure Snap-on will sell one for a good price. But, you know, it's never bad to have one, in my opinion. Well, if, you know, you're into big machineries and stuff, it's never bad to have one. Usually I don't go by spec, but sometimes I do. It depends on what we're doing. But yeah, the Icon torque wrench, pretty good. You know, 3/4. If y'all are wondering what I was using, you know, when we were doing that little, you know, spark, you know, not the spark plug, the little lug nut stuff, the nuts. I was using these Pittsburgh Pro, which kind of I am starting to regret using these. I have been noticing that Quinn, if you do look at like their Quinn, forgot their 3/4 ratchet they made that's extendable. If you look at the images, you'll see some sockets that say Quinn and it looks small, which hopefully down the road they do sell those. Right now I have not seen them. They could be out by now, maybe. If you want, you could check Harbor Freight, maybe they'll have them out. Recently they only have like some sockets that are long, you know, but they don't, you know, they don't have them for all the other sizes. I think it was only on the standard side, I think it was. Yes, on the standard, I think it was. They don't have it on the metric. They do have some Pittsburgh Pro metrics, but kind of I do struggle whenever I use this Impact. You know, I do struggle to get them on and off. You know, so yeah, these guys I'm gonna start walking away. Maybe later when they release the Quinn, I'll buy those and just have these as a backup. I mean, when you use it with your breaker bar, you know, this is a 3-foot breaker bar right here. Whenever I use it with these guys, I don't have any issues. But I have issues when I use it with this guy, which it ain't good, which sometimes, you know, you buy these because they're impact rated and you want them to, you know, pop those nuts or bolts or whatever, you know, break them off so you can easily take off the part and then put it back on, you know, which, you know, I just struggle. I have to use sometimes like a flathead in order to pry it off, which I shouldn't be doing that. They should wiggle on their own, in my opinion. But yeah, I kind of would stay away from these unless you don't use them that often. Or if later down the road Quinn has released, which when Quinn releases it, I probably will buy it and make a review of it. Because I do want to upgrade these to a better brand, you know, since these Pittsburgh Pros aren't the best. I think they're like $50 for each one, which ain't worth it. I know this breaker bar goes for like, I think it was $100. I got it for $80. It was on sale with a coupon. And also, we got the, you know, this Hercules was $200 without the battery. But if you're in a Hercules line, this is perfect. So yeah, this is so far so good. For $400, it's a good price to me. But if you do get it, if there's a possible one day there's an Icon sale coupon going on, and you want to get this, which I hear people say they always get it, you know, to get it lower down. So I got it for $350 with a coupon, which wasn't bad in my opinion, but it's worth it. Yeah, I would highly recommend it if you work into diesels or something like that, or you're a mechanic and you work every once in a while. But this is more like if you're gonna do more of a professional job. I don't use this all the time, but you know, I do have a sprocket job. I have to do another Bobcat, and that Bobcat, by the way, it's a T770 2015, and it's a 2-speed. So that was the torque spec. Well, usually I look around the internet, you can't find it, but here, you know, I did find it in the owner's manual, which you can check on your owner's manual and see what the torque spec it is and stuff. So you know, that's a good thing. So I would highly recommend it. You know, if you're into the diesel, this is perfect. If you're not, you know, and you just want to have one, go ahead. Nobody's stopping you, but you know, but you don't have to get Icon. You could get like another brand. I got Icon since it's way better than all the Pittsburgh Pro. It's smaller, and as I mentioned, and I will bring a breaker bar here in a minute, or breaker bar, sorry, a torque wrench of the Pittsburgh Pro. I do have one, and I'll show you what I mean. So give me a couple seconds. You might see me on a table, so give me a couple seconds. Okay, so here I got the torque wrench I was talking about. As you can see, that one, you pull a little tab, you could say, in order to put it at a certain you know, torque spec. Say like you want to put 250 or something, you could put it on that exact spec, you know. But here on this one, and it is a Pittsburgh Pro, as you can see, Pittsburgh Pro. This is a 3/8 one, and I do have a video of this. I think this one, it does 5 to 80 foot-pounds of torque. And the reason why I bought one to use it to do, you know, to do a front suspension job I'm going to do here in near the future. And I was noticing that whenever you put something on torque spec with these Pittsburgh Pro, which these are not the best in my opinion, maybe a homeowner, okay, it's perfect, but somebody who does mechanic job, I wouldn't recommend it much, which I made a video about it. But I did notice, like, say you want to put this at, you know, you have to loosen up this and this a bit, and then, you know, you have to start, you know, messing with it. So let's say like you want this to be at, let's go with 25 foot-pounds. Okay, so, you know, 25 foot-pounds right there. Let's see, 25 foot-pounds, you know, there you are at 25 foot-pounds. Now you gotta tighten this guy up really good, you know, tighten to the max. And sometimes you can't, you have to use like a pair of pliers or something, you know. And when you're torquing this and you're holding it right here, right? Sometimes when you're torquing it and you're holding it like in the back of your hand right here, as you're torquing it, and you know, you're torquing it down like this or whatever, sometimes you loosen up the nut, which, you know, it doesn't happen that often, like, you know, but after a couple of 2 or 3 clicks, you know, after torquing 2 or 3 bolts, you will start noticing, and I have noticed this starts getting loose, which that's why I don't like using the Pittsburgh Pro that much anymore. I have it there, you know, I will probably use it one day. But as I mentioned, it's kind of not worth it, and that's why I kind of falling more into the Icon category, or, you know, get another, you don't have to get from, you know, Pittsburgh Pro. You could buy any other brand. They are pretty cheap. If you're a homeowner, you could do a small job and then hardly touch it again until later down the road. Okay, that's fine, but, you know, that's what I would do, you know, stay kind of away from these guys. I mean, they're good. If you're a homeowner, you're going to use them once. Just, you know, just check it every once in a while to see if it's still in spec and everything when you're torquing it down. See if it's good. If it's not, then, you know, recorrect it. But you will notice when you use it, if you do buy one, it'll start, you know, loosening up, and it will give you an issue. As I was one day torquing down an alternator on a Nissan, I was torquing the spec, and I noticed it loosened up, and I'm like, well, let me correct it, and it did again. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna, you know, do it again. I'm not interested in doing that anymore. Messing with these. This is more like my emergency backup. Say like something happens, or if one of them breaks, I'll fall for this. I kind of wouldn't put this near the engine, these Pittsburgh Pros. Maybe the suspension wise would be fine or something like that. You know, which, as I mentioned, I don't like it when you're torquing it and it loosens it up. You know, you have to tighten up with a pair of pliers, which I don't like to do that, because later down the road, the little, you know, that little nut or whatever will start getting, you know, it'll start chewing it up and stuff. And, you know what I mean, like this guy would just start getting chewed up if you use pliers. And yeah, I would kind of stay away from these, unless, as I mentioned, you're going to use it every once in a while. It's perfect. But if you're a mechanic, I would not recommend this unless you're starting and like, hey, I need a torque wrench real quick, and maybe by the next paycheck I'll buy a better one. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Just, I'm giving a heads up, so stay away from these. And Icon, it's a little better. The split beams, I haven't had issues, and that one looks like it's a pretty good. I do like how it clicks, which I wish they would have done something similar like to this, you know, but they didn't. But as I mentioned, that is a good torque wrench. It might sound silly, but I'm not going to use it much. But I do have a project on, as I mentioned, a Bobcat skid steer. I'm going to have to change those spindles on a 2017 one. The same model and everything, just different engine. And, you know, it's just a bit 2 years newer than this one that we were doing. And also, I'm gonna do it on a Ford F-150, get that torque spec'd, you know, get it torqued. So, you know, I don't have to be worrying about that no more. I'll torque those since I'm changing some studs, and I think that has to be put down at 351 foot-pounds, and the other one will need 295 foot-pounds for the rotors, brake rotors, which I need to torque those down too. So yeah, just in case people are aware, you know, that's what I'm going to use it for, which it ain't a big job, but you know, it's better to have those torques since it is the most important part of the vehicle. All right, well, thanks for watching and have a good day.